Hey, welcome back guys. So today on this video, we are talking about Etsy seller accounts, and more specifically, I'm going to answer a question that I've been getting a lot recently on my other video, and that is, how do you create an Etsy seller listing? So let's go ahead and talk about this. First off guys, this is going to be a really quick video. There's really not too many steps involved, so be sure to stick around to the end of the video. But why would you want to create a listing on Etsy? Well, that's pretty easy. Maybe you're going to be adding a new product into your Etsy seller store and you're not sure the process. Whatever the case is, it's a pretty easy process. It's all handled here in your Etsy seller account. So this is assuming you've already set up an Etsy seller account. If you haven't done that already, go back and watch my other video that describes that process in detail. But once you're here in the create a listing section for your Etsy seller account, you're going to have to go through a couple of different steps in order to list your product on Etsy. So I'm going to go ahead and go through that with you today. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go ahead and add a photo. So think of this kind of like a thumbnail. You want to make sure that your profile photo for your listing or your product on Etsy is catchy, colorful, clear, and really describes your product. And in order to add a photo, just click here on this camera icon. Once you do that, then you will be prompted to either upload a photo that you've already taken with your phone, or you can click this one, take photo, and that way you can use the camera on your phone right now. So I'm going to go ahead and just choose a photo right now. Okay, so I did choose a photo and Etsy is now uploading my listing photo here. It's going to take just a quick moment depending on your internet connection. Okay, so the photo has been uploaded. You can see it right there. And I would recommend that you add multiple images just because it helps with the buying process for Etsy buyers, helps them decide if they want to purchase your product or not. Next, you can go ahead and adjust the thumbnail. So you can go ahead and zoom in. Let me go ahead and just click on adjust. Okay, so here you are. So you can go ahead and zoom in on one particular piece of your thumbnail, and you can go ahead and move it around if you want to make it much more appealing. I'm not going to do that. Next, if you scroll down, so this feature is pretty important as well. So if you can do a video of your product or how it can help your customers on Etsy, that is definitely recommended. So you're going to want to put a 5 to 15 second video for your product. And once again, you're going to end up getting more conversions if you do have a video. It really highlights how that person can use your Etsy product. So scrolling down, just so you know with the video, it's not required, but again, it is recommended. Definitely put that if you get a chance. Okay, next you want to go ahead and put a title. So just make sure you put a title that's going to be catchy. So let's see, best coffee mug for police. So something that really speaks directly to your client. And then you want to fill this out because if it has a little star there next to it, it is required. So who made this product? So you can go ahead and just click I did, or however you acquired that product. And then what is it? So is it a finished product that you're selling, or if it's something that is like a tool or some sort of supply? And then when was this product made? Made to order is if you're going to wait for any kind of customization from your client before you make the product. So just choose whichever is appropriate to you. So I'll just put it recently. So as we have it right now, I'm selling a coffee mug that's made specifically for police, and another company made this. So for example, I bought it off Alibaba, and it is a finished product. So once the person receives it, they will be the end user. They will be able to use the cup immediately and then when it was made. So this is another category or item that you have to fill out. So what is the category? Okay, so I just typed in coffee, and then you can see that it just gives you a couple of results. Obviously, this is not coffee that I'm selling, but it is a coffee mug. So I'll go ahead and choose that one. And then Etsy lets me know with this listing, my product will show up in home and living, kitchen and dining, drink and barware, drinkware, and mugs. So this is optional. You can go ahead and put the material. I would go ahead and do that just because, again, the more that you fill it out, the better the chances are that someone's going to find your listing. So for example, if my mug is ceramic, if someone's looking specifically for a ceramic mug, my listing is more likely to show up. So you can list the color, the secondary color if you want. I'm not going to do that. So it gives you a lot of different options about your listing on Etsy. So is it dishwasher safe? Because there will be people or customers that search Etsy based off of these search features as well. So for example, if yours is microwave safe, but you don't list it, it may not show up in that search. So again, you want to make sure that you go ahead and put as much information about that particular mug or whatever your listing is on Etsy. So I'm going to scroll down so you can put a special occasion. So for example, anniversary mug or something like that. Again, the goal is to show up in search for your particular product. Now, if this is just going to be a test product right here, this one's pretty important. This is renewal options. So if you want Etsy to automatically renew your listing once it expires, it's going to be 20 cents each time this renews. So for me, I usually just do manual, and that way I can decide if the product is doing well, if I would like to go ahead and renew it or not. And then here you do need to choose if it's a physical or a digital product. So for my coffee mug For this example, it's a physical product, so I'll leave it at that. If it's digital, then you would choose there. All right, so continuing on making an Etsy listing for your product, you want to make a description here. So again, this is going to help with your search. Also, it's going to help with your customers making a buying decision. So you can just go ahead and put why they might want to purchase your product. Okay, so I just typed in just a quick example of that. So the description, who it's for, what you can use it for, what's the capacity, and then that way when they read through it, they're going to have a good idea of what your product is. Okay, so scrolling down. Now, if you bought this item to resell, then you do need to list who your production partner is. So if you have a shop that you pay for this particular product, because Etsy sometimes will reach out to that company. So if it's not a handmade item, then you're going to need to list that right there by clicking on here, production partner, their location, who the production partner is, and then you need to answer these specific questions about your production partner. So I'm going to go ahead and close that out. And this is kind of cool. So you can preview the listing as a Google search result. So let me click on show preview. So there's how this listing would show up on the Google search right there. And then scrolling down, you can add tags. I would definitely add that. Material, go ahead and add that, because once again, it's not going to definitely help you specifically 100% with your search results, but it can give you that extra little nudge. So make sure to fill out the tags for related content. You don't want to do something, for example, I'm selling a coffee mug. You don't want to put in there diamond ring because it's not related. All right, so then next you want to go ahead and put the price. So for this, I'm going to be selling it for $16.99. And then how many of these coffee cups that you have on stock. So let's just say I have 25. If you have an SKU, you can go ahead and fill that out. It's not required. If you have different variations of the product that you're going to be selling, you can go ahead and click on add variations, choose variation type, and then just depending on what type of variation you're offering, I'm only going to be doing the one, so I'm not going to fill that out. And then personalization. So if your customer has the option to go ahead and personalize their coffee mug or whatever Etsy listing that you're set up, then you want to put your instructions for how they can personalize their item. I don't offer that, so I'm going to close that down. Okay, so here are the shipping items options. So for shipping prices, you can go ahead and enter in your own shipping price if it's a physical product, or Etsy will automatically set that for you if you have it set up for calculate them for me. In order for that to work, you do need to enter in the origin zip code where your items are going to be coming from. So let me go ahead and just add that in. And then the processing time. So this is going to help Etsy determine how long it's going to take for your guys' customer to receive your products that you're listing on Etsy. So how long does it take for you to make that product? So for example, today it's a coffee mug. Let's say it takes 1 business day for me to make that. Next, you can list where you would like to ship to. So by default, it's set up on worldwide delivery, but you can change that and then just specifically send to whatever countries you want to list right here. So I'll leave it at all countries for now. And let me scroll down a little bit more. So shipping services, you can go ahead and choose what type of shipping. So you can choose if they want free shipping, but just keep in mind that that's going to be deducted from your fee on Etsy. So sometimes that makes sense, sometimes it doesn't, depending on the price of your product and also depending on what your margins are and who you're competing with. And then also you can add a handling fee if you want to do. So let's say $4 for me to take this coffee mug to the post office to send it out. This is asking for a tariff number. I'm not really sure what that is. If you happen to know what tariff number is, be sure to leave a comment below. Let the rest of us know. And here, this is actually really important as well. So you need to go ahead and measure your items that you are sending with Etsy, because this is exactly how they're going to be able to calculate what the shipping fees are. So I'm going to go ahead and just type this in for a coffee mug 4x4x4. And here you go. They let me know that they're going to give me a preview shipping price for this listing on Etsy. So if it's going to Chicago, it looks like for my address in Los Angeles, the shipping price is $10.60. I charge a $4 handling fee. So $27.59 is what the customer is going to pay. And lastly, this is actually really important. So you need to choose what your return policy is. So you can go ahead and just use the flat form return policy, returns and exchanges within 30 days that Etsy has set up by clicking on that button. However, if you want something a little bit more specific catered to just you, you can go ahead and create a policy right here. And that way you get to choose what type of return policy that you have. So if you don't accept returns, you will just uncheck that. And then exchanges, prices. If you don't, just uncheck that, save and apply. So there we have it. That listing is all set up on Etsy. So make sure that you scroll through and make sure all the information is correct, because if not, it can change the prices of your shipping. And once you're done and you'd still like to go ahead and create a listing on Etsy, click on this black save and continue button down here on the bottom. Okay, so once you do that, then it's going to give you the success sign. So it lets you know that a preview of your thumbnail along with the price for your listing on Etsy. So there you have it, guys. If you're looking for information on how to create a listing on your Etsy store, that is the easiest way I know how to do it. If you know an easier way, be sure to leave a comment below. Let the rest of us know how you did it. Hopefully you found that video useful. If so, click thumbs up or maybe consider subscribing to my channel, and I hope to see you on the next video. Thanks again for watching.